All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into my main topic. I want to talk about guitar finishes. I want to talk about, do they matter? Do they change your opinion on buying guitars? Do you think they even like change the sound of a guitar or the feel of a guitar? Is there some you look for more than others? Because I know Paul Reed Smith was all about the poly finishes for a long time. Because he wanted his guitars to look beautiful for a long time.
Right.
And he's changed his opinion on that.
Yeah.
So, where do you sit with guitar finishes?
I have a love-hate relationship for guitar finishes.
Okay.
Mostly because I can't make up my mind on what truly matters.
Oh, okay.
Because when I see it on a spec sheet, like if I'm looking at guitar equipment, the first thing I'm looking for is it nitro.
Yep.
Because I want the wood to breathe, because that's what I've been told.
Oh, yeah, nitro makes the wood breathe.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I look for. And then I play stuff like my GS Mini.
Yep.
And it's layered back and sides. It's not like one piece.
Yeah, it's not solid.
It's not solid. Like, there's a lot to it. But, man, that guitar is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know it's not nitro.
Yeah.
You know, I've played a lot of great American Standard Strats. That was poly.
Yep.
I've played a lot of great Gibsons, and those are nitro.
Yeah.
So
Played a lot of bad Gibsons. Played a lot of bad Fenders.
right.
So
So I think for me, I would like to let my guitar breathe as much as possible.
Yep.
And I know that kind of sounds silly, but when the finish allows the wood to kind of flex a little bit more, or just kind of vibrate, resonate. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Resonate a lot. I feel like you become more in tune with the guitar and you're having more fun.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what's worth the nitro, is like it's more of a connection to you.
Yeah.
That all being said, I tell you what, I've played great guitars that have a bunch of different finishes, and you know, if it's just one that I'm going to take out and I'm going to play a show and not really care about stuff, I almost don't want a nitro because it'll, you know, chip off easier.
Right.
It's not as durable of a finish.
Kind of the Paul Reed Smith thought, right?
Right. It's not as durable of a finish. But if it's something that, like, I know I'm going to go to a place that I don't really have to worry too much, or if I'm playing at home, or if, you know, this is just in general something I can look over for the night, like, you know, I would rather take the nitro finish.
Yeah.
I do think it makes a difference.
Yeah. And the sound?
Probably mostly in the feel.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's necessarily a sound difference, because I think that just depends guitar to guitar.
Right.
And what it's made out of. But I really do feel like it's more of a feel and almost a psychological thing.
Yeah.
But I do think it matters to me.
Yeah. So for me, I've got a list of things I go through. Not like, I mean, I couldn't, you know, spit them out to you right now. But I do have a handful of things I look for whenever I look at a guitar spec sheets. And one of the things I look at is, what's the finish made out of? Is it poly? Is it nitro? Or do they not say? Because they don't say, it's poly.
Right.
So, I mean, we all know that's the fact. It's cheaper, it's easier, it's safer for the workers, you know,
And the environment.
and better for the environment and all these things, which, you know, is cool. But I want my guitar to be nitro. Like, I think that there's something about the poly. It almost feels like you're encasing it in like some type of super durable plastic.
It's like embalming your body when you die.
Okay. Okay. Well, we went back to the dark side of things again, right? So I think it's like encasing yourself in a sarcophagus.
Okay.
And the guitar's kind of doing its thing on
It's
the
already
inside.
dead, so
Yeah.
we'll just...
The guitar's doing something in there, but the finish in it, like, aren't talking. Like, they're separate entities. It's almost like the guitar is in a case. Mm-hmm. Whenever it's nitro, it feels like it sinks in. Not all nitro. Not all nitro is created equally either, I don't think. Some of it's way thinner, some of it's way thicker. Some of it has more plasticizer in it, which makes it more like poly. Sometimes the undercoat's poly. The Fender's been known for doing that a lot. You know, putting nitro top coats and poly undercoats. But I think there's something to nitro that it kind of bonds and melds together with the guitar more. and it resonates more. Supposedly it breathes more, which is cool. It makes sense if it like becomes more one with the guitar and in the grain, that it would breathe more, right? Because it's got the ability to. The feel is much different. I think the feel on nitro versus poly is huge. I've got some nitro guitars that feel amazing. And I've got some nitro guitars you can tell it was laid on a little bit thick. It's not as good. When I play my Les Paul, and when I play my Tele, those are both nitro, feel super thin, feel great. When I play my J45, it's nitro, but it's thicker. You know, there's something about the finish that's just thicker. And
I would think for an acoustic, you probably want that for the durability. I'm
not saying I don't want it, but I just can tell the difference, you know. And I'm sure for different guitars and for different finishes, they have different requirements they have to do to help protect it.
Well, I mean, my Eric Johnson Strat, super thin nitro.
Yeah.
And then I've got that American Original Tele.
Yep.
And it's a 50s, but, you know, I've accidentally chipped some of the finish off, but it takes a lot more force to chip that off.
Do you think the neck nitro on your Eric Johnson is as thin as the body, or do you think it's thicker?
Never thought about that.
I think it's thicker.
I think it is thicker.
Yeah. I think the neck finish is thicker. And I think their thought is on it, they're going to put it a little bit thicker because your hand's always on it. You're always going to be rubbing on it.
Right.
And leaning against stuff, you're more likely to cause problems with it.
Right.
But your body finish on that Eric Johnson's so thin. I think my Tele's the same way. It's relic ready, so the finish is ultra thin on the body anyway. But I do think the neck, I don't think the neck is relic ready. I think the neck is like standard nitro finish.
Right.
Because they know it's going to get beat up, which I can appreciate, you know.
Right.
I don't love a lot of these custom shop nitro guitars whenever they take the neck finish and like basically wear it completely off.
Right.
And it's really worn. I can appreciate a guitar that's got like oil finished, that feels slick and feels like natural wood. That's one thing, but there's something about whenever they do a nitro guitar and then they just wear the finish back in weird spots.
When you see it's like completely worn and it's a custom shop, I'm like, no normal hand is going to do that.
No. If you've picked up any vintage guitars, they don't look like that.
No.
Unless somebody sanded them.
Right. That's different.
They don't look that way. And not to get into the relic thing, because I do like relic guitars a lot of times.
Right. They're great.
I think that's something else too with that's something we didn't bring up a ton too with a poly, is that it's never going to relic. I mean, not really.
Right.
You're going to take like big chunks out of it, and you're more than that, you're going to dent it.
Which is why I said, like, if you're taking it to a gig that you're kind of nervous, that's the guitar to take, because it's more durable.
Or take a nitro guitar that's relicked.
And then you don't have to worry about it because it's already
relicked. It's already relicked.
Right.
Or a guitar you played a bunch that's worn. So, I don't know. I think, for me, I'm a nitro guy. I like the thought of it being able, and I feel like I can feel more resonance out of nitro guitars a lot of times.
Right.
The thing is with it too, though, is it really the nitro finish that I'm getting more resonance out of? Or is it the fact that it's a higher quality guitar? Because most nitro guitars are higher quality.
That's true.
So is it the wood and all the components that's actually causing that? Or is it the nitro finish? We all know it's a system, so it's probably all of it. But it does make me wonder which one's more enacted there.
The only thing I'll say is all the classic guitars, had nitro finishes, and they aged amazingly.
Yep.
Like, I'm not even talking about like just the looks of them. I'm talking about how the sound of the instrument. Like, it only got better with time.
Yep.
It aged like fine wine,
That's Martin's slogan. Martin's slogan is, the day you buy your acoustic guitar from Martin is the worst it will ever sound.
Yeah.
So when you buy that Martin acoustic, that's the worst that guitar's ever going to sound. And it will do nothing but get better.
Right.
That's the nitro finish.
That's why I like nitro, because I know that it's just going to sound better, as the years go on.
Yeah. And a lot of those poly guitars that I've had experience with and owned and played, they kind of sound the same. Like, I don't notice a big change. And some of that could be because the quality that they're at, right? Because there's not a lot of Crooks. So the guy, the custom shop, I don't remember, maybe Bill Crooks?
It is Bill Crooks.
Crooks Guitars. He makes all Brad's custom guitars that aren't
Brad
Fenders.
Paisley.
And yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And he uses polyfinish. He doesn't think it matters.
I don't know. A lot of people are going to be mad that we're even talking about this, but
Well,
I don't know. To me, there's a reason why some manufacturers try their very best to keep that as a staple.
yeah.
There's a reason why.
And I don't think it's a gimmick.
I really don't think so.
There's a lot of things I think are gimmicks. And I'll call them out first time I see them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think nitrofinish is a gimmick.
I really don't either.
You know, I don't know how much hide glue works on acoustics and like Les Pauls. Does hide glue make that big of a difference when you're setting the neck? I don't know. That could be a gimmick. Maybe, maybe not. But I think nitrofinish is, you know, I think it's a real deal.
Me too.
Go out there and play them. You know, I think you're definitely going to feel the difference in just like how it feels on the hand. But also, I think you're going to feel a difference in the resonance. You know, so
really, that's what you're looking for, is trying to find that connection with the guitar. And if to me, I feel the best with nitro when I'm playing guitar, so that's what I lean towards.
And if you got a loud amp going, and it's hitting that nitro guitar, and the nitro is ingrained with the wood of the guitar, and they're vibrating at the right frequency together, it's gonna build together, right? You're building all those frequencies
I don't know what
together.
you're talking about now.
Well, I'm gonna just talk to you guys. It's just gonna build together. If you've got a guitar that's poly, and you're hitting that finish, and it's just like a brick wall.
Sounds like a conspiracy to
those
me.
Those frequencies aren't getting into that, right? So the frequencies are getting blocked by something that's really thick. If it's thin enough to come through, it's going to resonate with the guitar.
Like the sound waves.
That's how you're going to get feedback. That's how you're going to get all that stuff.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, just you got to hang on with me for a little while. Sometimes I get in the weeds, folks. Surprise?